Adani Group.
Adani Group.
Adani Group companies continue to slide for a third straight session.
$6 billion gone in a day.
Hindenburg research accusing the conglomerate of share price manipulation.
Using shell companies to pump up the stock of Adani Enterprises.
The report is a malicious combination of selective misinformation, baseless and discredited allegations.
India's Adani Group says it's exploring legal action against a US short seller, Hindenburg Research.
He says Hindenburg is making an attack not just on the company, he's also making an attack on India and its growth ambitions.
The fundamentals of our company are very strong. We will continue to focus on a long-term value creation and growth.
Last week, an American company, Hindenburg Research Company, published a report in which, with significant accusation levied on the richest man in India, Mr. Gautam Adani. As a result, within 3 days of the publication of this report, Adani Group of companies had to bear the losses of $65 billion US. Obviously, you would want to know about the contents of this report. But friends, more interesting than that is the fact that Hindenburg has so much faith in its report that it has openly challenged the legal team of Adani companies to file a legal case against Hindenburg if they can. Actually, if Hindenburg is proved wrong, Adani won't even need to file a case as an act of revenge. Because if Hindenburg's predictions are proven wrong, they will have to bear heavy losses. Is this report politically motivated? And what does it contain exactly? Come and let's understand this story in our today's video.
Trading has been temporarily halted. Just a short while ago we were telling you how it was down about 20% lower circuit. Now it's gone to 30%. 7 out of 10 Adani shares are at a lower circuit right now. Adani Group MCAP loss is since 25th January, and that MCAP loss has been now about $118 billion. Now clearly this could have come as expected for Adani Group to be facing these fluctuations, given they have withdrawn from the oversubscribed earlier FPOs, but it appears that right now that fluctuations continue, because only once the market stabilizes for the Adani Group will they be able to look at the FPO again.
Hello friends, and welcome to our channel HK Talks. Viewers, from the intro you may have taken the idea that what our topic is. Our topic for today is the Gautam Adani. Everyone knows Adani, at least in India, but many of you have heard the name of Hindenburg Research for the first time. So let's get to know this company a bit. This company was established in 2007 by Nathan Anderson. He is a professional chartered financial analyst and a chartered alternative investment analyst. Those are the names of the professions. It might sound complicated, so in short you can think of him as a financial analyst. This company carries out financial research and claims to carry out research on things that are not easy to find out, uncovering hard to find information from atypical sources. Anderson completed his studies at the University of Connecticut with a degree in international business. Initially, he worked as an ambulance driver in Israel. After that, he moved to America. He began his financial career by working in investment management companies when he founded the Hindenburg Research Company in 2007. He purposefully chose this name for this company. The name Hindenburg is popular for a tragedy that took place in 1937. It's been decades since there used to be an airship called Hindenburg. Not an airplane, it was an airship. Today, airships are very rare, but they were common back then. One day, a Hindenburg airship caught on fire, killing 35 people. This is a famous disaster, and photos of this tragedy were captured at that time. Anderson compares the stock market disaster to this disaster from 1937, saying that all of them are man-made disasters. The purpose of this company, in his opinion, is to prevent Hindenburg-type disasters from happening in the stock market again. This is why, friends, in addition to being a financial research company, it is an activist company as well. They are engaged in activism for the benefit of the world. so that stock market disasters are prevented worldwide. They carry out their activism through short selling. Now let's understand what short selling actually is. Normally you invest in a stock with the expectation that the stock price of the company would go up and then you will make profit. While short selling, you invest with the expectation that the stock price of the company will fall and then you will make profit. Short selling is also a way to make money, and Hindenburg does not deny doing this. Hindenburg claims that they carry out their financial research to expose the fraud committed by the companies. And the company that they expose, they would invest on it in short selling. They will bet on the company's stock falling and then profit out of the fraud. This is an interesting business model, but it is risky because when short selling, there is no upper limit to your losses. Normally, when you invest in the stock of a company, hoping that its value would increase, suppose you invest $1,000 in Apple stock, the most loss you could suffer is the value of the stock falling to zero. You lose your $1,000. Your maximum loss can be $1,000 only. But while short selling, you will bet on the value of the stock falling. But it is increased instead. It can increase infinitely. It can go up by 100%, 200%, 300%, or even 1000%. That you have understood this, come let's understand the allegation against the Adani Group. In the Adani Group, there are 7 major stock-listed companies spread over a large number of sectors. Adani Green Energy generates renewable energy. Adani Enterprises is engaged in coal mining and trading. Adani Transmission is engaged in power transmission. Adani Total Gas for gas distribution. Adani Power for coal-based power generation. Adani Ports for ports. And Adani Wilmar is a joint venture with Singapore's Wilmar International. Up until recently, the operations of the Adani Group were not so large-scale or diversified. They were mostly limited to Gujarat, but they saw exponential growth over the last few years. The growth was so rapid that at one point, Adani became the 3rd richest person in the world. His net worth reached $120 billion. Of this $120 billion, over $100 billion was created in the past 3 years. It is another thing that ever since the Hindenburg report was published, it slipped to the 4th position and then is in the 17th position till 5th of February 2023. Very strange it is. Now let's see what this report is about. This is a 106-page report. The title of the report is Adani Group, How the World's 3rd Richest Man is Pulling the Largest Con in Corporate History. In their opinion, this is the largest fraud in corporate history. Hindenburg Research claims that they have spent more than 2 years in this research. They levy a large number of allegations against the Adani Group. Money laundering, stock manipulation, accounting fraud, corruption, theft of taxpayers' funds, creating offshore shell companies. In this report, it is said that Gautam Adani's younger brother, Rajesh Adani, was accused by the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence in 2004-05. Allegedly, he was arrested twice for tax fraud, but later he was promoted to the managing director of the Adani Group. The next accusation was on Gautam Adani's brother-in-law, Samir Vora. It's alleged that he was the ringleader of a diamond trading scheme. He was later promoted to the executive director of Adani's Australia division. There is also an accusation against Gautam Adani's elder brother, Vinod Adani. Allegedly, he went to various countries to create offshore shell companies, and that he was engaged in money laundering. In this report, Hindenburg identified 38 offshore shell companies controlled by Vinod Adani or his close associates and other companies, and several tax havens such as the Caribbean islands. They report that several shell companies do not even have a website. Some have websites populated with only stock photos. There are no employees in the company and not even proper addresses. They claim that if Gautam Adani has done nothing wrong, he can answer their 88 questions. Now let's see how the Adani Group responded to this report. The first response was on 27 January, when the Adani Group published a presentation with the title Myths of Short Seller. In response, they claim to have stable credit ratings, that the companies of the Adani Group meet various regulations as specified by the government. 2 days before this, on 25th January, the CFO of the Adani Group said that the timing of the report shows that it was published with malicious intentions, that they are trying to undermine the reputation of the Adani Group and the follow-on public offering that they are about to pursue. This was an attempt to damage that. On 26 January, the head legal experts of the group threatened Hindenburg with legal actions. In response, Hindenburg Research says, "Bring it on," that they do not fear any legal action. One question arises here. Why is Hindenburg Research so confident? Why do they have so much faith in themselves? We need to see their past track record. Before this, they had accusation against several companies and short sold their stocks, such as Nikola, Wins Finance, Genius Brands, China Metal Resources Utilization. In total, since being incorporated in 2017, they have targeted about 16 companies. There was another response from Adani on 27 January. Hindenburg's 106-page report was countered with 413 pages. Adani publishes their report to counter Hindenburg report. They claim that there were selective and manipulative presentation in the public domain to set a false narrative. Additionally, they claim that it's an attack on India, not on Adani. On India, an interesting response. Adani claims that 65 questions out of the 88 are such that answers to which are publicly available. That if the financial statements are read carefully and the stock exchange disclosures are checked, they can easily find the answers in public domain. And 18 of the questions about the public shareholders. So that has nothing to do with Adani Group. And the remaining 5 questions are baseless or based on imaginary fact patterns. Hindenburg's response to Adani's response was that the Adani Group had not actually answered any question. Hindenburg claims that in their response, Adani Group is merely claiming that they have approval of the government regulatory bodies and that the data is publicly available, but they have not properly answered any question. This will play out as win-lose situation in the near future. If Hindenburg's report is accurate, Hindenburg stands to gain and Adani stands to lose. But if Adani is right and this report is falsified, Adani stands to gain and Hindenburg will be the only one losing. What do you think? Do comments below, and for more informative videos, stay connected with us.